Reborn in 1983, the first thing I did was take advantage of the heavy snow sealing off the mountains, steal the family's rotten fish, and head deep into the old forest. The whole village was staying inside on the Kong for the winter, laughing at me as a useless nobody who had never even been up the mountain. But they didn't know these rotten fish could lure in Sable worth more than gold. In my previous life, my mom worked herself to death paying off my debts. In this life, I'm going to use this Sable pelt to make sure she never has to bend her back again. I was reborn back to the age of 20. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on the cold floor of the village shop with a buzzing in my ears. Aunt Wong was still nagging beside me in her booming voice. How much of your father's ability have you learned? If you've got what it takes, go up the mountain and hunt a wild boar for everyone to see. I slowly sat up and looked at the familiar yet unfamiliar faces around me. Yeoman Village at the foot of Changbai Mountain, November 1983. My childhood friend Zhang Xiaomei anxiously helped me up. Qingshan, are you okay? I waved my hand, countless images flashing wildly through my mind. In my previous life, it was exactly what happened today that provoked me. The next day I stole a knife and charged up the mountain, only to have a wild boar gore and break my leg, leaving me permanently disabled. To pay my medical bills, my mom got up before dawn and worked till dark gathering mountain goods, and a few years later, she died from exhaustion. It wasn't until after Mom died that I came to my senses. I went into the mountains to learn hunting, and later, when the tide of doing business began, I got into the fur trade. On the day of my 60th birthday banquet, I drank too much, and when I opened my eyes, I was back. I'm fine, Xiaomei. I'm just hungry, going home to eat first. I stood up, brushed off the dirt, and walked away without looking back. Right now, I only had one thought in my head: go home and find my mom. The Liu family lived in the last row of the village. The wooden door was pieced together from broken planks, and you could see the whole yard through the cracks. The moment I pushed the door open, tears nearly fell. The yard was empty, and no one was inside. My mom must have gone up the mountain again. By November in Changbai Mountain, the temperature had already dropped to more than 10 or 20 degrees below zero. The young women and married women in the village had long since stopped going up the mountain. But my mom had no choice. She still had to go. My dad died suddenly when I was in middle school, leaving behind a mountain of debt. All these years, my mom had been carrying it all alone. Not only did I not help, I loafed around the village all day long. Thinking of that, I raised my hand and slapped myself across the face. I wiped my face, grabbed a bundle of firewood, and lit the Kong. The fire burned brightly, and I sat by the stove thinking things over. Now that I'd been reborn, my top priority was making money. I knew plenty of fast ways to make money, but none of them suited my current situation. Go up the mountain to hunt. No gun. That would be pure suicide. Gather mountain goods? Backbreaking work for little pay. Just as I was worrying, a gray shadow flashed past the foot of the south wall. I looked closely, and my head buzzed. A sable. I almost wanted to slap myself. How could I forget that little thing? This was exactly when it was worth the most. At dusk, my mom came back. Her small, thin body carried a wicker basket half a person's height on her back, and she panted with every step. When she saw the light on inside, she froze for a moment. Qingshan? I rushed out and hugged her tight. Before I could say anything, tears were already streaming down. Back then, when I sat alone in my empty villa at 60, what I missed most were these hands. Rough, cracked, yet always warm. What's wrong, son? Are you out of money again? Mom still has a little over 1 yuan here. She stroked my head. Mom, from now on I'll take care of you. My mom froze for quite a while, then smiled and patted my back. Good, good. You must be hungry, right? Mom will cook for you. Dinner was just vegetable cornbread and pickled vegetables, but I ate with great relish. Eating my mom's cooking was 10,000 times better than all the delicacies of my previous life. Mom, tomorrow I'm going up the mountain with you. Go up the mountain. You've never gone up the mountain since you were little. Just stay home. I have to go. My mom looked into my eyes, was silent for a moment, then nodded. Over the next few days, I followed my mom up East Mountain every day. My mom was afraid I'd be in danger, so she only took me to safe spots. But the safe spots had long since been picked clean of mountain goods. In a whole morning, we only gathered 2 handfuls of gynostemma tea. I wasn't in a hurry. I just followed along, getting familiar with the terrain. In my previous life, I spent more than 10 years in these mountains. Now I had to match those memories up all over again. One day at noon, while we were eating dry rations by a creek, I took off my shoes and went into the water to catch fish, baring my teeth from the cold. My mom shouted from the bank, "Why catch fish? It wastes oil, and it's fishy, doesn't even taste good. It's useful." Gritting my teeth, I threw the fish onto the bank one by one. When we got home, I put the fish into glass jars and set them on the windowsill to dry in the sun. My mom couldn't make sense of it, and I didn't explain. After waiting several days, the snow finally came. In the morning, when I pushed open the door, the snow in the yard wasn't even up to my ankles. I took a deep breath, the cold air pouring into my lungs, making my whole body shiver, but I was overjoyed inside. It finally snowed. After breakfast, I told my mom I was going out for a walk. My mom thought I was going to the little shop to brag again, so she didn't stop me. I went back to my room, stuffed a cloth sack and the tools I'd prepared in advance into my clothes, and headed straight up East Mountain by the back mountain path. There wasn't a single person on the mountain trail. I switched into my skis and headed north along the mountain path. After walking for almost 40 minutes, I stopped to study the terrain, then turned and slipped into the old forest beside it. Today's target was only one thing: the sable. Sables are small, so you don't need a gun. Knowing how to set traps is enough. But you have to wait until it snows. First, you can see tracks in the snow. Second, on snowy days those big beasts all stay holed up in their dens, so it's safer to go up the mountain. This was a skill I learned from an old hunter in the mountains in my previous life, and now I remembered it all. After walking for nearly an hour, I reached a pine forest. In my previous life, I discovered this place by accident. Few people ever came here, and there were lots of sables. I caught my breath and started looking for tracks. I hadn't gone far when I saw a clear line of tiny paw prints in the snow. It was a sable, all right. Delighted, I crouched down beside a pine tree. I pulled an iron trap out of the cloth sack and fixed it firmly at the tree root. In the middle of the trap, I placed a piece of stinky fish. I'd let this fish rot for several days beforehand. The stinkier and fishier it was, the more sables liked it. 1, 2, 3. I set all the traps I had brought, 5 in total. But that still wasn't enough. Since I was here to make money, I had to lay out a few more setups. I felt my way farther into the woods and found sable tracks on a gentle slope. I swung my axe and chopped at a pine tree beside me as thick as a thigh. Bang, bang, bang. In the silent old forest, the only sound was the axe biting into wood. Before long, the pine came crashing down. I cut the trunk into sections 1.5 meters long and started building traps. The principle behind this trap is actually simple. Use a small stick to brace 2 thick wooden boards apart, with the stinky fish placed as bait. When a sable comes to eat the fish and steps on the trigger, the little stick slips loose and the 2 boards slam down on the spot. The key is that the force has to be just right, enough to kill the sable, but not damage the fur. A perfect sable pelt has to be intact. In one go, I made 4 traps and set them in different spots. By the time I finished all this, the sky was already getting dark and the forest was dim to begin with. But I didn't head down the mountain right away. Instead, I found a spot behind a large wind-sheltering rock and sat down, pulled out a flatbread from my cloth sack, and gnawed on it with snow water. I was waiting for nightfall. Dusk and dawn are when sables are most active. Traps set on the first day often yield something that very same day. If I went down the mountain now and came back tomorrow to collect them, what if someone else got there first? Even though this place is rarely visited, I still couldn't take that risk. When it got completely dark, the woods were frighteningly cold. I wrapped my cotton jacket tighter and pricked up my ears to listen for any movement. After waiting for nearly 2 hours, a faint sound came from the distance, like something struggling in the snow. My spirits lifted, and I immediately got up and felt my way in that direction. The flashlight beam swept over, and a dark lump in the snow was flailing about. I rushed over in a few quick strides, my heart pounding. It was a sable. The trap I had set had caught its hind leg, and the little thing was struggling desperately, scraping a pit into the snow. When it saw the flashlight beam, it twisted even more frantically. I pulled the knife from my waist and picked up a thick branch from the ground. Pinning the sable's neck down with the branch, I brought the knife down with my right hand, clean and swift. The little thing twitched twice, then went still. I picked it up and examined it carefully by the flashlight. Its fur was sleek and glossy, dark brown all over, without a single stray hair. Fine goods. This one pelt alone could sell for at least 20 yuan. What did 20 yuan mean? Right now, a shop clerk in town only made 50 or 60 a month. I put the sable into the cloth bag and reset the trap. That night, I checked a total of 2 traps. 1 sable, and the stinky fish on the other trap had been eaten, but it hadn't caught anything. There was no movement from the snares for the time being, so I figured I'd have to wait longer. By the time I got home, dawn was near. I climbed through the back window into the west room without waking my mom. After hiding the sable in the Kong flu, I lay down, and all the exhaustion in my body suddenly washed over me, and I quickly fell asleep. I slept like a log, And in the end, it was my mom who woke me up. Ching Shan, get up and eat. The sun's already high in the sky. I got up, rubbing my eyes, and smelled the fragrance of corn grits porridge coming from the stove. As my mom handed over the bowl, she glanced at me. What were you doing last night? Your eyes are all dark. Couldn't sleep, so I went out for a walk. My mom didn't ask any more questions. She just nudged the porridge closer to me. It's cold out. Drink more. My heart tightened, and I lowered my head and drank the porridge. In the days that followed, I went up the mountain every few days. Sometimes I went during the day and told my mom I was going out for a walk. Sometimes I set off before dawn, and by the time my mom got up, I was already back. More and more sable pelts were hidden in the Kong flu. 1, 2, 5, 8. The traps didn't hit every time. Sometimes the stinky fish was eaten and the trap didn't spring. Sometimes something got caught, but I arrived too late and other wild animals had chewed up the fur, so I could only throw it away. But overall, the harvest was good. On average, I got 1 good pelt every 3 trips. By late December, I had already saved up 13 top-grade sable pelts in the Kong flu. After breakfast that morning, I pushed my bowl aside. Mom, I'm going to town today. What are you going to town for? To sell something. My mom froze for a moment. Sell what? I went back into the room, took out all the sable pelts from the Kong flu, wrapped them in an old cloth, and carried them out for my mom to see. My mom opened the cloth bundle, and her hands started trembling right away. She turned them over one by one, and even her voice changed. Ching Shan, did you get these? Trap them. When did you learn how to do that? Where did you get so many sables? I learned from my dad. I told a lie. When I was little, Dad taught me how to set traps, and I remembered it all. My mom looked at that pile of pelts, and her eyes slowly reddened. She opened her mouth, but in the end she didn't ask anything. She just wrapped the pelts up again and stuffed them into my arms. Go to the town supply and marketing cooperative. Don't sell them to middlemen. The price is quite different. Got it, Mom. I tucked the bundle of pelts under my arm and went out. When I reached the door, I turned back for another look. My mom was standing in the yard, her apron flapping loudly in the wind, watching me the whole time. I steeled myself. Today I had to sell them for a good price. It's 30 li from the village to the town, and it took me an hour and a half to walk there. When I got to the town supply and marketing cooperative, I found the counter that purchased mountain goods. A middle-aged man with glasses looked over my pelts, and his eyes lit up at once. Fine pelts. The guard hairs are intact, and the underfur is thick. Where'd you get them? Trapped them in the mountains. I didn't say much more. The man with glasses turned over all 13 pelts one by one, muttering to himself. This one is first grade. This one too. This one's second grade. And the rest are all first grade. Not bad, kid. You've got skills. He clicked away on the abacus for a while, then looked up and said, first grade pelts are 21 yuan each, second grade 15 yuan. That makes 12 first grade and 1 second grade, for a total of 267 yuan. But you'll have to wait a bit. I need the director's signature, since it's over 200 yuan. I nodded without changing expression. Only after the man with glasses had gone far enough away did I clench my fists hard, my nails digging into my flesh. 267 yuan. My mother couldn't make that much in a whole year digging up mountain goods in the hills. Before long, the man with glasses came back with the director. The director was a bald, heavy-set man. He inspected the pelts again, then nodded. Approved. Inside the counter they counted out the money with a rustle. Thick stacks of 10 yuan notes, 27 bills in all. I tucked the money close to my body. When I walked out of the supply and marketing cooperative, the sun outside was so bright it hurt my eyes. I used 10 yuan of it to buy 2 jin of pork, a fish, a bag of white flour, a jug of soybean oil, and a few chi of cloth for my mother to make clothes with. As for the remaining 257 yuan, I planned to hand over every cent to my mother. By the time I got home, it was already getting dark. I pushed open that broken wooden door, and my mother was sitting by the stove waiting for me. Mom, I'm back. I took out that thick wad of money and placed it on the Kong. My mother looked at the pile of money, and tears immediately streamed down her face. She didn't make a sound, just cried silently like that, covering her face tightly with her rough hands. I walked over and hugged her. Mom, you won't have to go up the mountain anymore. I can make money now. I'll take care of you. My mother cried for quite a while before calming down. She put the money away and said carefully, Mom will save it for you, for when you get married someday. I didn't argue, but in my heart, I was already planning something bigger. After dinner, I helped my mother heat water to wash her feet. She sat on the edge of the Kong, watching me bustle around, and suddenly said, Son, you've really changed. How am I different? Hard to say. She smiled. I just feel that you're like your father now. The fire in the stove was burning strong, bathing the room in a warm red glow. Outside the window, the snow was still falling, fluttering down in thick flurries. That night, I lay on the Kong tossing and turning, unable to sleep. 13 sable pelts had sold for 267 yuan. But this was only the beginning. There were plenty of valuable things in these Changbai mountains, as long as I put all the skills from my previous life to use. Then I'd definitely be able to give my mother a good life. The road ahead was still long, but I wasn't panicking anymore. In the distance, snow fell silently in the old forest, covering the traps I had set one by one. Once the weather cleared, new sables would follow the fishy smell of the rotten fish and emerge from the depths of the dense forest, and that would yield another perfect sable pelt. After making 4 traps in a row out of pine wood, Lu Qingshan was already so tired that his back and waist ached. By this time the snow had stopped, and the sun had come out from behind the clouds. Lu Qingshan looked at the sun's position and estimated the time. It was about 11 o'clock, so he decided to head back. The speed of going down the mountain on skis was very fast. In less than an hour, Lu Qingshan had reached the foot of the mountain. By then, there were also more children in the village playing on skis along the roads. Lu Qingshan mingled with them and played for a while before leaving. Lu Qingshan carried his skis and walked home along the road at the east end of the village. The traps had all been set, and there was nothing much for him to do now except wait a couple of days to check the catch. Silently, Lu Qingshan prayed that the traps would catch plenty of sables, because all of Lu Qingshan's upcoming plans depended on the money from selling sable pelts. When Lu Qingshan got home, he saw Wang Tzulan tidying up the firewood she had gathered from the mountain. To make it easier to burn, the firewood Wang Tzulan collected consisted mostly of relatively thin branches. In fact, with Yangon village backed by Changbai Mountain, the one thing it never lacked was firewood. Generally, when people in the village gathered firewood, they picked more regular, thicker pieces of wood, because such would not only burn longer, but was also easier to stack and handle. Most families were unwilling to gather thin branches because they burned up too quickly. Usually, only elderly people who couldn't split logs would collect them, and the reason Wang Tzulan did so was also because there was no one at home to split firewood. Looking at that big pile of branches, Lu Qingshan couldn't help blushing a little. He knew it was because of his own laziness that his mother had gone to gather such things. "Mom, from now on let's gather some thicker wood too. When the time comes, I'll split it." "All right, son, you must be hungry. Let's eat." Early the next morning, before dawn had even broken, Lu Qingshan climbed down from the Kong. He had a lot to do today, and if everything went smoothly, he was going to make a trip to town. After all these years, Wang Tzulan was used to getting up early, so she was up bright and early as well. Glancing at the snow piled on the distant mountains, she silently calculated when she would be able to go up there. Based on experience, in another 2 days it should be about time. After breakfast, Lu Qingshan wiped his mouth, looked up at Wang Tzulan, and said, "Mom, I'm heading out. Go ahead, and come back early for lunch." Sitting on the Kong and watching her son's departing figure, Wang Tzulan let out a sigh. She wondered when her son would finally come to his senses and stop going to the little shop just to be made a fool of. At that moment, Lu Qingshan had no idea what his mother was thinking as he quickened his pace toward East Mountain. After a full day of sunshine yesterday and the overnight freeze, the snow on the mountain had already hardened, and people could walk directly on top of it. The snow on the mountain path had been cleared away because it was the only road leading to the forest farm on the mountain. Therefore, the forest farm specially assigned road maintenance workers to clear it promptly after every snowfall and spread sand on it to prevent slipping. Since he had already walked this route once yesterday, Lu Qingshan was now thoroughly familiar with it. But today Lu Qingshan was not walking quickly. Instead, he moved along while carefully observing his surroundings. Because after a day of adjusting yesterday, many predators would come out today to look for prey. Fortunately, Lu Qingshan's luck was good, and he reached the pine forest without any trouble. As soon as he got not far from where he had set the traps yesterday, his sharp eyes spotted a furry lump on one of the traps attached to a pine tree. Lu Qingshan was delighted. When he went over for a closer look, it was indeed a sable. "A great start. Looks like today's going to bring a big haul," Lu Qingshan muttered as he took the sable down and put it into his cloth sack. He casually took down the trap as well and set it somewhere else. He wasn't going to be satisfied with catching just one. Next, Lu Qingshan continued checking his traps and snares, and the results left him extremely satisfied. The traps had caught another 2 sables, and the snares he had made had also yielded 2. Altogether, he caught 5 sables today. After setting everything back up one by one, Lu Qingshan hurried down the mountain, unable to wait any longer. After returning home, Lu Qingshan did not tell his mother about his catch, and Wang Zuolan did not ask either. After all, in her eyes, her son had only come back carrying a cloth sack. Taking advantage of the time while his mother was cooking, Lu Qingshan packed the processed sables into a cloth bag. After lunch, he could hardly wait to leave home and headed straight for the village office. When he arrived at the door of the village office, Lu Qingshan knocked lightly. "Come in," a deep male voice came from inside. "Second uncle, are you busy?" Lu Qingshan pushed the door open and called out to the middle-aged man behind the desk. The middle-aged man was named Lu Jianmin, the head of Yong'an village. In terms of seniority, he was Lu Qingshan's second uncle, though not a blood-related one, but from another branch of the family. "Oh, Qingshan, what brings you to your second uncle's place today?" Lu Jianmin looked up. Wasn't this that boy from the Lu family? Truth be told, Lu Jianmin did not have a very good impression of Lu Qingshan, because everyone in the village knew that ever since Lu Jianjun passed away, the whole family had been supported by Wang Zuolan, and her son spent all day wandering aimlessly around the village, or else bragging at the small shop. The burden of life rested entirely on Wang Zuolan, a woman all on her own. Hearing the faint distance in Lu Jianmin's tone, Lu Qingshan did not take it to heart. Lu Jianmin had transferred back from the military and had a rather straightforward temperament, so if he disliked someone, he showed it directly. "Second uncle, it's like this. I want to join the village guard team. Do you think that would work?" "You?" Lu Jianmin widened his eyes, picked at his ear, and looked at Lu Qingshan with suspicion. The guard team in Yong'an village was hardly some coveted position, nor was it any formal post. It was just a title, really. Usually there was nothing to do. They were only called into action when there were wild beasts on East Mountain that had injured people, or when wild animals came into the village and hurt someone. Of course, the village would give appropriate rewards, and it would not take a single cent from whatever prey was caught. "Second uncle, do you think I can do it?" Lu Qingshan straightened his chest and pressed on. "No, you're not suitable." Lu Jianmin refused without the slightest hesitation. "Why not?" Lu Qingshan's face flushed red, as if he had suffered some enormous grievance. Hearing Lu Qingshan's words, Lu Jianmin frowned awkwardly. He had originally wanted to say it bluntly, but thinking of Lu Qingshan's family situation, he changed to a more tactful approach. "You don't have a gun, and you don't have experience. Are all the people in the guard team experienced? Didn't everyone start out as a beginner? Second uncle, are you looking down on me?" Lu Qingshan stared at Lu Jianmin with reddened eyes, as if demanding a reasonable explanation. Lu Jianmin rubbed his forehead and explained in a gentle voice. "Nothing like that. Qingshan, don't overthink it. The main thing is, you don't have a gun. What could you do in the guard team? So if I had a gun, then I could join the guard team?" Lu Qingshan seized on the loophole in Lu Jianmin's words and pressed step by step. "Fine. As long as you can get a gun, I'll agree to let you join the guard team," Lu Jianmin said firmly as he looked at Lu Qingshan. A sharp glint flashed through Lu Qingshan's eyes. That was exactly the sentence he wanted to hear. He lifted the bag at his feet onto the desk and pulled a sable pelt from inside, handing it to Lu Jianmin. "Second uncle, do you think this pelt is enough?" Looking at the pelt on the desk, although Lu Jianmin was not very skilled at hunting, he still had a good eye. He picked it up and examined it carefully. He nodded lightly. "Where did you get this? You didn't take someone else's prey, did you?" "Second uncle, what are you saying? I trapped all of these myself. You know how to do that too?" Lu Jianmin asked somewhat doubtfully. He had never heard that Lu Qingshan knew how to hunt. Besides, trapping Sable was not something an ordinary hunter knew how to do. These little creatures were very clever and hard to catch. Otherwise, they would not be so expensive. Lu Qingshan knew that suddenly knowing all these things would be suspicious, but he had already prepared an explanation. "Some time ago, while cleaning the house, I found a hunting notebook my dad left behind. I learned all this from the notebook." After hearing this, Lu Jianjun did not suspect anything and did not continue asking, because asking further might involve someone else's secret skill. No one would possibly tell you anyway. "Fine, go to town, sell the fur, and buy a gun. Then I'll let you join the village guard team, and when the time comes I'll find someone to show you the ropes." Hearing Lu Jianjun's words, Lu Qingshan was secretly delighted and immediately thanked him, saying, "Thank you so much, second uncle. Once I sell the fur, I'll definitely buy you 2 bottles of good liquor to show my respect." When Lu Jianmin heard this, he immediately felt a warmth in his heart. No matter what, it was already very nice that the child had such thoughtfulness. After hesitating slightly, Lu Jianmin said, "In a little while, go straight to town and find your eldest uncle. I'll give him a call and have him look after you." Second uncle, I don't even know what to say. Ever since my dad passed away, our family has only made it through all these years thanks to your care. Speaking emotionally, Lu Qingshan could not help but have his eyes redden a little. When Lu Jianmin heard this, his heart ached. In truth, over the years he had indeed looked after the Lu family, but it was mostly out of sympathy, and it was not nearly as exaggerated as Lu Qingshan had said. But Lu Qingshan's words still made Lu Jianmin feel very good. How about going to town tomorrow instead? Otherwise, won't it be dark by the time you come back? It's fine, second uncle. I'll just walk a little faster on the way. Seeing that Lu Qingshan had already made up his mind to go, Lu Jianmin said no more. After seeing Lu Qingshan off, Lu Jianmin made a phone call. Hello, who is this? He heard his elder brother's deep voice come through the phone. Lu Jianmin cleared his throat. Hello, big brother, it's Jianmin. Do you remember that boy from the Lu family in our village? Hearing that it was his own younger brother calling, Lu Jiangwo said with a smile. Of course I remember. Isn't he Jianjun's son? What's wrong? Did something happen to him? Nothing happened. It's just that he trapped a few furs up in the mountains and wants to sell them at your place for cash and buy a gun while he's at it. Oh, that's all. The kid's got that kind of skill, huh? When the time comes, just have him come find me directly. Lu Jiangwo readily agreed. This kind of thing was just a small matter. At most, he would just offer a slightly higher price then. Hearing his elder brother's indifferent tone, Lu Jianmin knew that if he didn't put in a good word for Lu Qingshan, even if his elder brother helped, he would not put much effort into it. So he spoke with a serious expression. Big brother, what I mean is, try your best to help him out. After all, back then our family ate quite a bit of the meat Jianjun sent over. These past years, life has also been pretty hard for the mother and son, and there hasn't been much we could do to help. Hearing his younger brother's words, Lu Jiangwo fell into thought. After a long while, Lu Jiangwo said, Don't worry, I'll do my best. Hearing this from his elder brother, Lu Jianmin let out a sigh of relief. After hanging up, he muttered to himself, Qingshan, this is all second uncle can do for you. The rest depends on you. Hongqi town was about a little over 10 li from Yong'an village. On foot, it would take an hour and a half. Knowing that leaving too late and walking back would be unsafe, Lu Qingshan did not stop to rest the whole way, and finally reached the supply and marketing cooperative in Hongqi town at 2 in the afternoon. Walking into the supply and marketing cooperative, Lu Qingshan looked at the interior layout with a hint of nostalgia, then walked up to a sales clerk and said, Hello, I'm looking for Lu Jiangwo. The female sales clerk, who had been sitting on a stool cracking sunflower seeds, glanced at Lu Qingshan. She asked casually, What do you want with Manager Lu? He's my eldest uncle. I need to see him about something. As soon as the sales clerk heard that Lu Qingshan was the manager's relative, she immediately became enthusiastic, walked out from behind the counter, and said, Manager Lu is in the office. I'll take you to him. Lu Qingshan followed the saleswoman to the back of the supply and marketing cooperative, arriving at the door of an office, where the saleswoman carefully knocked on the door. Come in. A deep male voice called out. The saleswoman pushed open the office door and asked inside, Manager Lu, there's a relative of yours outside looking for you. It's Qingshan, right? Come in quickly. Lu Jiangwo did not get up and spoke while sitting in his chair. Lu Qingshan followed the saleswoman into the office and first glanced around the layout inside, which was much the same as that of most leaders he remembered. Then he walked up to the desk and said with a smile, Uncle, I'm not disturbing your work, am I? Lu Jiangwo was writing something on the desk and replied without even raising his head. It's fine. There are just a few documents needed urgently. Xiao Zhu, take Qingshan to have the pelts collected first. Remember to use the highest price, and then just come to me for a signature. Lu Jiangwo signed a few words on the documents, then looked up and casually said to the saleswoman, Okay, Manager Lu. Xiao Zhu agreed with a smile, then walked out. Lu Qingshan politely said to Lu Jiangwo, Uncle, I'll go over first. He then followed the saleswoman out of the office. After the two of them left, Lu Jiangwo put the cap back on his fountain pen and nodded thoughtfully. This kid is pretty decent. Why is everyone in the village so cold toward him? It turned out that Lu Jiangwo's busyness just now had been deliberate. As the manager of the supply and marketing cooperative, he was indeed busy, but not so busy that he didn't even have time to look up. The reason he had deliberately treated Lu Qingshan coldly was to see what his character was like. For him, helping Lu Qingshan would be no more than a simple matter, but if he was going to help, there had to be a reason to do so. Forget gratitude. Even at the very least, he couldn't end up helping an ungrateful wretch. Still, he was fairly satisfied with Lu Qingshan's performance just now. At least he didn't have some of the bad habits common in young people. Following behind the saleswoman, the corners of Lu Qingshan's mouth curved into a faint smile. Having spent many years navigating the business world, how could he fail to sense Lu Jiangwo's deliberate coldness? He had worked with people whose attitudes were far worse, let alone Lu Jiangwo, the manager of this supply and marketing cooperative. He was confident he could handle his relationship with him. "Thank you for the trouble, saleswoman Zhu." Lu Qingshan politely thanked the young woman walking ahead. The saleswoman did not dare be neglectful toward a relative of the manager, and quickly waved her hands and said, "No need to be so polite. My name is Zhu Yulan. I should be older than you, so Qingshan, just call me Sister Zhu." "Okay, Sister Zhu." Lu Qingshan immediately took advantage of the opening and called her that warmly. This was experience he had gained from many years in the business world. As the saying goes, it's easy to deal with the king of hell, but hard to deal with the little demons. Building good relationships with these people could save a lot of trouble. After all, as the manager of the supply and marketing cooperative, once Lu Qingshan got settled in, Lu Jiangwo couldn't possibly accompany him all the time. Many things still had to be handled by the people below. Under Zhu Yulan's lead, the two came to a counter, and Zhu Yulan said to a young man inside the counter, "Xiao Wang, this is a relative of Manager Lu's family. He has a few pelts to sell, so take a look." "Sure thing, Sister Zhu." As soon as the young man, Wang Songjun, heard that he was a relative of Manager Lu, he did not dare be neglectful and hurried over to the counter. Lu Qingshan took out 5 pelts from the cloth sack. Zhu Yulan and Wang Songjun both sucked in a sharp breath. Seeing how young Lu Qingshan was, they had not thought he could produce any good pelts, figuring at most they would be a few squirrel pelts or weasel pelts. To their surprise, Lu Qingshan directly pulled out sable pelts, and 5 of them at that. Their expressions toward Lu Qingshan immediately changed. Wang Songjun picked up one of the pelts on the counter and examined it. The marks are very fresh. It was probably just skinned." After looking over the remaining pelts, Wang Songjun's eyes were filled with shock because he realized that all 5 pelts had been skinned today, which meant the young man in front of him had trapped 5 sables in a single day. At the current price of sable pelts, this is worth several thousand yuan. There are 5 pelts in total. 3 of them are the largest, and I'll buy those for 1,000 yuan each. Of the remaining 2, I'll buy one for 800 yuan and one for 700 yuan. After Wang Songjun finished inspecting the pelt in his hand, he skillfully quoted the price. After naming the price, he looked up at Lu Qingshan with an inquiring expression. At that moment, Zhu Yulan, who had just come back to her senses, spoke up. "Add a little more. He's Manager Lu's relative. Manager Lu said to give him the highest price, and when the time comes you can go to Manager Lu for a signature." Hearing this, Wang Songjun couldn't help rolling his eyes at Zhu Yulan. "Why didn't you say that earlier?" So he continued, "The purchase price for sable pelts is already quite high, but since Manager Lu said so, the 3 large pelts will be 1,200 yuan each. I'll give you 900 yuan for the slightly smaller one, and 750 yuan for the smallest one. How about that?" Hearing this price, Lu Qingshan's heart pounded wildly. This excited him even more than earning hundreds of thousands in his previous life. But Lu Qingshan's face showed no emotion at all. He merely smiled and said, "All right, sold. Thanks for the trouble, Brother Wang." "Okay, I'll get the money for you right away, brother." Wang Songjun first put away the 5 pelts, then used the key he carried with him to open the drawer. He took out 5 stacks of Great Unity notes from inside, then counted out 25 bills from one stack and placed them on the table. "Brother, count it." Looking at the cash in front of him, Lu Qingshan's lips twitched, and he barely suppressed the smile tugging at the corners of his mouth as he picked up the money and began counting. These days, it's almost impossible to get counterfeit money when selling things at the supply and marketing cooperative, and Lu Qingshan had been doing business for many years, so he could tell whether it was counterfeit just by touching it while counting. As a result, he counted the money very quickly. "No problem. Thanks for the trouble, Brother Wang." "No problem." Lu Qingshan nodded at Wang Songjun, then said to Zhu Yulan, "Sister Zhu, I see your counter sells cigarettes. How much is Zhonghua per carton? If you buy by the carton, it's 35 yuan per carton. How many cartons do you want?" Zhu Yulan no longer dared underestimate the young man in front of her, and she wasn't surprised to hear him asking about Zhonghua cigarettes. "Give me 4 cartons and 4 bottles of Baishandaku as well." A look of surprise appeared on Zhu Yulan's face. This young man was really making a big purchase, but she still went behind the counter to get Lu Qingshan the cigarettes and liquor. "The total is 188. That's already the lowest price for you." Lu Qingshan took out those 25 Great Unity notes from the cloth bag, counted out 19 of them, and handed them to Zhu Yulan. Zhu Yulan gave Lu Qingshan 2 yuan in change from the drawer. Lu Qingshan took the money, then packed the cigarettes and liquor into the cloth bag and nodded to Zhu Yulan. Thanks, Sister Zhu. I'm going to find my uncle now. All right, go ahead. Zhu Yulan knew that it would be a bit inappropriate for her to follow along this time, so she stayed at the counter. Lu Qingshan came to the door of Lu Jiangwo's office and knocked lightly. Come in. Uncle, it's all taken care of. Lu Qingshan pushed the door open and entered the office, then turned around to close it and walked a few steps to the front of the desk. Did everything go smoothly? Very smoothly. I really have to thank you, Uncle. This is a small token I just bought. Take it back and give it a try. While speaking words of thanks, Lu Qingshan's hands didn't stay idle either. He took out 2 cartons of cigarettes and 2 bottles of liquor from the cloth bag and placed them on the desk. Lu Jiangwo had worked at the supply and marketing cooperative for many years and was very familiar with the prices of cigarettes and liquor. One look at these 2 items told him that Lu Qingshan had been very generous, and he felt quite pleased. After all, no one wants to help an ungrateful wretch, and an angry expression appeared on his face. Kid, why are you wasting money like this? Do I really need these few things from you? It's enough that you have the thought. Uncle, that's not how it works. I know you don't care about these things, but I can't take all of this for granted. If you don't accept them, I won't come to you again in the future. Lu Qingshan knew exactly what to say at a time like this, and spoke with a serious expression. You brat, using that to threaten me. Fine, then I'll take them. But next time you come, you're not allowed to buy anything again. Lu Jiangwo pointed at Lu Qingshan with his finger and finally accepted them helplessly. All right, I'll listen to you, uncle. Ha ha ha. Lu Jiangwo felt that Lu Qingshan's words were very pleasing to hear. After putting the cigarettes and liquor under the desk, he got up and walked over to the sofa. Sit down now, the 2 of us will have some tea. Lu Qingshan's expression was calm, with a faint smile at the corner of his mouth, and he quickly sat down and took the teapot from Lu Jiangwo's hand. Lu Jiangwo also didn't stand on ceremony, secretly nodding to himself, feeling more and more satisfied with this nephew from the same village as him. I heard from your second uncle that you want to join the guard squad. Lu Jiangwo said casually, pretending it was just in passing. Yes, uncle, you also know my dad used to be in the guard squad, but my dad passed away early. There were a lot of things he never had time to teach me, but some time ago when I cleaned up the house, I found one of my dad's hunting notebooks. That's how I managed to trap a few sable up in the mountains. Sable? And a few of them? Lu Jiangwo said in some surprise. Lu Jiamin hadn't made it clear on the phone just now, but he knew how hard sable were to catch. The reason the supply and marketing cooperative bought them at such a high price was that they had become increasingly scarce over the past few years. I got lucky and trapped 5. Lu Qingshan scratched his head, pretending to be embarrassed, but in fact he was showing off his strength. After all, if you want others to think highly of you, feelings alone aren't enough. You also have to show your capability. Choosing a gun in the warehouse. Lu Jiangwo took a sip of tea and calmed the shock in his heart, thinking even more highly of this nephew of his. He knew it definitely wasn't as simple as luck, but he didn't continue asking questions. Qingshan, what kind of gun do you want to buy? A Type 56 semi-automatic rifle and an air gun. Lu Jiangwo stroked his chin, having already made up his mind. Qingshan, the Type 56 semi-automatic rifles at the counter all sell for 1,600 yuan. Air guns all sell for 200 yuan. Uncle isn't trying to fool you. At most, I can get these 2 guns down to 1,500 yuan for you. After speaking, Lu Jiangwo turned to look at Lu Qingshan. The thing most feared when doing someone a favor is that the other person doesn't know how big that favor is. You should know that things sold at the supply and marketing cooperative were generally marked with fixed prices, not a penny cheaper. The price he was giving Lu Qingshan was already the limit. Any lower, and there would be unnecessary risks. Fortunately, Lu Qingshan did not disappoint him. Lu Qingshan said with a smile on his face, "Thank you, uncle. I know this price is already you taking care of me. I won't put you in a difficult position, right? What's the big deal? You're my nephew. Just because you call me uncle, even if it's troublesome, I still have to help with this." Lu Jiangwo waved his hand dismissively, but inside he felt extremely pleased. This nephew really knew how to say things that went straight to a person's heart. Come on, let's go to the warehouse and pick out a gun for you. When Lu Qingshan heard this, his eyes lit up. There's even such a good thing. After all, he'd never heard of anyone being able to choose when buying things at the supply and marketing cooperative. Lu Qingshan followed Lu Jiangwo to the supply and marketing cooperative's warehouse. There were 2 people specifically guarding the entrance. When they saw Lu Jiangwo arrive, they stood up and greeted him. "Hello, Manager Lu. I'm here to pick up some things." You two come in and help me carry them." In front of outsiders, Lu Jiangwo returned to his usual demeanor and spoke calmly. The two warehouse clerks quickly opened the warehouse doors and followed Lu Jiangwo deeper inside. The supply and marketing cooperative's warehouse was very large. After several turns, the group arrived at the southeast corner of the warehouse, where several big boxes were sitting on the ground. Lu Jiangwo lifted his chin, and the quick-witted warehouse clerk beside him stepped forward and opened the wooden crate lid. Hiss! Lu Qingshan sucked in a sharp breath. Inside the box, brand-new Type 56 semi-automatic rifles were lined up neatly in rows. At a rough glance, there were at least dozens of them. "Go pick one," Lu Jiangwo said with a smile to Lu Qingshan. The first time he saw this whole box of guns, he had reacted the same way, but after seeing them often, he had gotten used to it. Lu Qingshan stepped forward, bent down, and took a Type 56 semi-automatic rifle out of the box. As soon as the gun was in his hands, he quickly began inspecting it. Seeing Lu Qingshan's practiced movements, Lu Jiangwo was a little surprised, but he didn't interrupt him and quietly waited to the side. After handling it for a while, Lu Qingshan put down the gun in his hand and picked up another one. It wasn't that the first one had been bad, but because in his previous life, Lu Qingshan had heard an old hunter say something. If you want your marksmanship to reach a certain level, compatibility between the person and the gun is very important. It's just that most people don't have that kind of opportunity, but Lu Qingshan did now, so of course he wouldn't waste it. He wanted to see whether he could find a gun that felt different. 1, 2, 3. Lu Qingshan tried them one by one, but after testing more than a dozen in a row, none of them felt right. Even Lu Jiangwo frowned slightly. He didn't understand what his nephew was doing, and just as he couldn't help wanting to speak, Lu Qingshan picked up another gun. "Uncle, this one will do." The moment the gun reached his hands, Lu Qingshan knew he had found it. On the surface, this gun looked no different from the others, but the moment Lu Qingshan gripped it, he had an indescribable feeling that this was the gun best suited for him. "All right, pick another air rifle." Lu Jiangwo let out a sigh of relief. His nephew had finally finished choosing. If it had been anyone else, he would have lost patience long ago, if not for how highly he thought of this nephew. Lu Qingshan didn't spend much time choosing the air rifle. After all, it was just something worth a little over 100, and he was only buying it to occasionally shoot squirrels, pheasants, rabbits, and the like. If he used the 56 semi-auto on those, they'd be blown apart outright. "Uncle, can you give me a few more stripper clips? And some more bullets?" After Lu Qingshan finished choosing the guns, he turned and said to Lu Jiangwo, "There are plenty of those. Xiaozhong, pack 30 of them for him later. And move another crate of 56 semi-auto ammo and a crate of air rifle pellets onto the truck." Lu Jiangwo said to the warehouse keeper without even turning his head. "All right, Manager Lu. Come on, let's go to the front and write up the order." Lu Jiangwo turned to Lu Qingshan and said, "Qingshan, in a bit I'll have Master Zhao from the co-op give you a ride. It's so late that I won't feel at ease otherwise." Lu Guoqing walked ahead, speaking to Lu Qingshan as he went. "Uncle I." Hearing this, Lu Qingshan felt a warmth in his heart. People in those days really were too sincere. As long as they took a liking to you, they'd think of everything for you. Between us uncle and nephew, don't say such distant things. Just come see your uncle more often when you have time. Definitely. The two of them came to the front of the supply and marketing cooperative, and Lu Jiangwo led Lu Qingshan to a counter. He said to the sales clerk, "Write up an order, 156 semi-auto, 1 air rifle, 1,500 yuan total." Hearing this, Lu Qingshan's eyes widened, but he didn't immediately question it like some hot-headed fool. Seeing Lu Qingshan's surprised expression, yet noticing that he didn't babble nonsense, Lu Jiangwo felt even more satisfied. After Lu Qingshan paid the money, he followed Lu Jiangwo to the office. His package had still been left there just now. Once they reached the office, Lu Qingshan said quietly, "Uncle, those 2 boxes of ammo?" Lu Jiangwo smiled, took a sip of tea, and said to Lu Qingshan, "A gift from your uncle. Just quietly accept it. Later, when you get some game, just don't forget to send your uncle some meat. That's for sure. As long as I bring down any game, I'll definitely deliver some to uncle first thing." Good, good, good. That's all I needed to hear. If your hunting skills can reach your father's level, maybe someday your uncle will be the one asking you for help. "Uncle, there's no need to say more. As long as you say the word, I guarantee I'll handle it properly," Lu Qingshan said at once, patting his chest in assurance. He attached great importance to this connection with Lu Jiangwo because it was tied to another plan of his. Hearing Lu Qingshan's assurance, Lu Jiangwo felt deeply gratified and felt he hadn't helped the wrong person. He looked up at the clock and saw it was already 4 o'clock, then hurriedly said, "Qingshan, you'd better head back quickly, or it'll be dark soon. Then I'll be off first, uncle. I'll come visit you another day." After saying that, Lu Qingshan slung the cloth sack over his shoulder and walked out. Lu Jiangwo followed him out as well and said somewhat worriedly, "I'll go with you, in case you can't find the way." The two of them came to the entrance of the supply and marketing cooperative's warehouse, where a large Jiefeng truck was already parked. A middle-aged man in his 40s was leaning on the window smoking. In those days, being a driver was a highly coveted job, not something just anyone could do. Seeing that Lu Jiangwo had come along too, the driver quickly jumped down and said with a smile, "Manager Lu, you're here? Master Zhao, this is my nephew Lu Qingshan. Sorry to trouble you with making a trip to take him to Yong'an. No problem, we'll be there in half an hour." When Zhao Laishi heard it was only to Yong'an, he breathed a sigh of relief. What he feared most was having to go somewhere far away. At this hour, it would be dark by the time he got back. In those days, the roads were in poor condition, and driving at night could easily lead to danger. Watching the truck gradually disappear into the distance, Lu Jiangwo clasped his hands behind his back and strolled back to the office. Meanwhile, as soon as he got in the truck, Lu Qingshan politely said to Zhao Laishi, "Master Zhao, sorry to trouble you. Here, take 2 packs of cigarettes." With that, he stuffed 2 packs of Zhonghua into Zhao Laishi's pocket. Zhao Laishi said politely, "Oh, there's no need to be so courteous. Your manager Lu's relative. This is a small matter." With just a glance, Zhao Laishi could tell that what Lu Qingshan had given him was 2 packs of Zhonghua. This was the best cigarette around at the time. 1 pack cost 4 yuan, so 2 packs made 8. He normally couldn't bear to smoke such expensive cigarettes, so Lu Qingshan's generosity made Zhao Laishi, who had originally felt a bit resentful, feel extremely pleased. On top of that, Lu Qingshan intentionally or unintentionally flattered him, making him feel this little brother was really quite good. "Master Zhao, I really envy people like you who know how to drive. Is this something easy to learn nowadays?" At this, a hint of smugness appeared at the corner of Zhao Laishi's mouth. As he drove, he casually said, "This stuff isn't easy to learn, and besides, there's no such thing as a private driver's license nowadays. It all has to be registered under a work unit. And you have to know how to repair cars, plus you need a master to teach you. Then if I want to learn in the future, could I come to you?" Lu Qingshan turned to look at Zhao Laishi and said with a hopeful expression, Zhao Laishi hesitated a little. To be honest, he didn't want to teach Lu Qingshan, but having just accepted 2 packs of Zhonghua from him, he felt a bit embarrassed to refuse outright. "I'll talk to my uncle about it when the time comes, and see if he can let me affiliate with the supply and marketing cooperative. Then can I learn from you?" Hearing Lu Qingshan's words, Zhao Laishi's heart stirred at once. Since Lu Qingshan put it that way, it showed he was quite close to Lu Jiangwo. Even if they weren't blood relatives, they were probably about as close as such. So why should he play the bad guy? "Sure, when the time comes, just tell Manager Lu that you'll learn under me." "Then thank you, Brother Zhao." Without showing it, Lu Qingshan changed the form of address from Master Zhao to the more familiar Brother Zhao. This was a subtle way of drawing closer. Traveling by vehicle really was different from walking on 2 legs. After only about half an hour on the road, they arrived at Yong'an. Lu Qingshan pointed out the way to Zhao Laishi, and the two of them first went to the village office. Lu Qingshan said to Zhao Laishi, "Brother Zhao, my uncle asked me to bring something to his younger brother. Wait here for a moment. I'll deliver it to him first." "Sure." Zhao Laishi readily agreed, and Lu Qingshan jumped out of the vehicle with the cloth sack on his back. "Oh, Qingshan, where did you go? How come you came back by vehicle?" A man who had come to the village office on business looked at Lu Qingshan getting out of the vehicle and asked in surprise, "Brotherly, didn't I go sell some things at the supply and marketing cooperative?" It just so happened that the supply and marketing cooperative was delivering goods to the village, so they gave me a ride for part of the way. "I see." The man didn't ask any more questions. After exchanging a few pleasantries with Lu Qingshan, he left. Lu Qingshan walked to the village chief's office door and knocked. "Second uncle, I'm back. Is that Qingshan? Come in, quickly." Lu Jianmin looked at Lu Qingshan as he pushed the door open and entered, a smile on his lips. His elder brother had already called just now and praised Lu Qingshan highly. This made Lu Jianmin much more warm toward Lu Qingshan. "Second uncle, this is the liquor I brought you from the supply and marketing cooperative. See how it tastes." As Lu Qingshan spoke, he took 2 bottles of liquor out of the cloth bag and set them on the table, then took out 2 packs of Zhonghua cigarettes and placed them on the table as well. When Lu Jianmin saw the 2 bottles of liquor on the table, These were considered among the better liquors around here. Together with the 2 packs of Zhonghua cigarettes, it all came to more than 30 yuan worth of goods. It wasn't as if no one had ever brought Lu Jianmin gifts before, but this was the first time anyone had given something this expensive. What are you doing? Hurry up and take this back. Why are you doing this with your own second uncle? Around Lu Jianmin, Lu Qingshan wasn't nearly so restrained and said with a cheeky grin, "Second uncle, this is my filial gift to you. Since when does a nephew being filial to his uncle violate the rules?" "You brat," Lu Jianmin said reproachfully. But the smile at the corners of his mouth simply wouldn't go away. "Second uncle, Master Zhao is still waiting for me in the yard. I'll take the things home first, so we shouldn't keep him waiting too long." "All right, hurry back then." After Lu Qingshan left, Lu Jianmin looked at the things on the table and smilingly put them under his desk. "This kid. No wonder my elder brother praises him so much. He really is pretty good." Wang Zuelan was the kind of person who couldn't sit idle. In the afternoon, she tidied up some firewood at home for a while. Then she sorted through the mountain goods she had accumulated over the past few days. She looked up at the wall clock, saw that it was already past 4:30, and so got ready to make dinner. "Mom, I'm back." Lu Qingshan's voice came from the yard. Wang Zuelan pushed open the door and saw Lu Qingshan carrying a wooden crate on his shoulder as he headed toward the west room. Wang Zuelan hurried forward. "Son, what are you carrying?" "Mom, help me hold this bag, and we'll talk once we're back inside." Wang Zuelan quickly took the cloth bag from Lu Qingshan's hand and immediately felt its weight. It was probably more than 10 jin, but Wang Zuelan had spent years going up the mountains gathering mountain goods. This bit of weight was nothing to her. The two of them went into the west room, and Lu Qingshan set the wooden crate he had been carrying on his shoulder onto the kong and let out a long breath. Small as the wooden crate was, it was filled entirely with bullets. To keep a low profile, Lu Qingshan had Zhao Laishi drop him off right at his door, then carried the crate straight off the vehicle himself without even having Zhao Laishi help lift it. Lu Jiangwo had really been generous with Lu Qingshan. This wooden crate contained 1,500 rounds of ammunition, weighing a full 30 kilograms. Only a young man like Lu Qingshan could carry it, otherwise it really wouldn't be possible. "Son, what's all in there?" As soon as Wang Zuelan heard the sound of the wooden crate being set on the kong, she knew it wasn't light and asked curiously, "Mom, sit down and listen to me." Lu Qingshan had Wang Zuelan sit on the edge of the kong, then began talking about what he had done over the past 2 days. As Wang Zuelan listened to her son, the more she heard, the more unbelievable it seemed. Unable to resist, she reached out and touched Lu Qingshan's forehead. "He doesn't have a fever, so why is he suddenly talking nonsense?" "Mom, look." Seeing that his mother didn't believe what he said, Lu Qingshan pulled out his trump card and took the money out of the cloth bag. Lu Qingshan sold the sable pelts for a total of 5,250 yuan. After deducting the 188 spent on cigarettes and alcohol and the 1,500 for the gun, there was still more than 3,500 yuan left, which was a little over 3 stacks of Great Unity bills. At the sight of the stacks of Great Unity bills on the kong, Wang Zuelan felt as if she were dreaming. She pinched her thigh hard, and the pain brought her back to reality. Wang Zuelan had never seen so much money in her life. In those days, when even a formal factory worker only made 50 or 60 yuan, this was equivalent to 4 or 5 years of someone else's wages. One could imagine how shocked Wang Zuelan was. After taking several deep breaths, she thought of all the hardships she had endured over the years. She couldn't help but burst into tears, first crying silently, then sobbing out loud. Seeing this, Lu Qingshan hurried forward and hugged his mother. He knew he had been too much of a bastard before, and that all the pressure at home had fallen on his mother's shoulders. "Mom, stop crying. Haven't things gotten better now? Don't worry, life will only keep getting better." Hearing her son's comfort, Wang Zuelan raised her head, wiped away her tears with her sleeve, and then looked at the money on the kong. "Son, you're really something. I always said my son is absolutely the best." Wang Zuelan counted the money with delight while not forgetting to praise her son. Seeing that his mother was in a good mood, Lu Qingshan seized the moment and said, "Mom, from now on, don't go up the mountain to gather mountain goods anymore. You can't make much money from it, and it just makes me worry that you might run into danger." "What? Do you think your mom earns too little?" "Don't forget that all these years, it was by your mom going up the mountain to gather mountain goods that I put you through school and provided your food and clothing." Wang Zuelan rolled her eyes at Lu Qingshan and said irritably, "Mom, that's not fair. I'm just afraid you'll run into danger. From now on, you can just stay at home. I'll go out hunting. Look, this one day's harvest is worth several years of what others make." Speaking of hunting, Wang Suilon finally asked the question in her heart. Since when did you know how to do all this? Mom, you don't think all these years I was just going to the small shop to brag, do you? Wasn't that the case? Although Wang Suilon didn't say anything, her eyes had already made her meaning clear. Of course not. Let me tell you, I only went to the small shop occasionally. Most of the time, I was still going to Das Hongling on East Mountain to learn things. Das Hongling? What were you going there for? Wang Tsulon knew Das Hongling. It was in the northwest of East Mountain, and it was quite far from Yomintan. There was an old man Li there in Das Hongling, with no wife or children. He built a shack there, and I was learning hunting from him. Really? Wang Suilon looked at her son somewhat doubtfully. How had she not noticed that her son had gone up the mountain in the past few years? Of course. I learned all my hunting skills from him, Lu Qingshan said as he looked at his mother with a serious expression. He wasn't lying about that. He really had learned all his hunting skills from old man Li, just not in this life, but in his previous life, when he had gone into the mountains to learn from him. Looking into her son's earnest eyes, Wang Tsulon finally let go of the doubts in her heart and lowered her head to continue counting the money. After counting the 3,500 yuan 3 or 4 times, Wang Tsulon finally put the money down in complete satisfaction. Mom, from now on, please don't go up the mountain to gather mountain goods anymore, okay? If you really can't sit still, then collect mountain goods in the village, and when the time comes, we'll sell them together in the county town and earn the price difference. When Wang Tsulon heard this, her eyes lit up. She had finished middle school, and math had always been her strong suit. If her family really hadn't been unable to afford to support 3 children with her grades, getting into high school would have been no problem. Hearing her son's suggestion, she was immediately tempted. But if we collect all these mountain goods, how will we transport them to the county? We can't possibly push a cart there, can we? Isn't that simple? We can just buy a vehicle when the time comes. Lu Qingshan said nonchalantly. Hearing this, Wang Tsuilon shot him a fierce look. Son, aren't you getting a little carried away? Our family doesn't even have a bicycle right now, and you're already thinking about buying a vehicle. Mom, look, I made more than 5,000 yuan in just one day from hunting. If I can have a haul like this 2 or 3 times a month, then wouldn't I be able to buy a vehicle in 2 months? When Wang Tsuilon heard this, she couldn't help muttering to herself that her son's habit of bragging really hadn't changed. Then she realized something was off, so she widened her eyes and asked, didn't you just say you sold it for 5,000? Then why is there only 3,500 here? Where did the rest of the money go? Seeing the look in his mother's eyes as if she wanted to eat him alive, Lu Qingshan quickly opened the bag and took out the 2 gun cases inside. Mom, I bought 2 guns. Otherwise, how could I go hunting? And anything can happen up in the mountains. Without guns, how dangerous would that be? Wang Tsulon had originally been a little angry that her son had spent so much money without telling her, but when she heard him talk about the dangers of going into the mountains, she finally understood that her son's safety was more important than anything else. Mom supports you. You really can't go up the mountain without a gun. Mom will put this money away first. After saying this, Wang Tsuilon was about to put away the money on the Kong into the bag, but Lu Qingshan quickly grabbed the 500 yuan. Mom, I'm keeping these 500 yuan to buy dogs. In the mountains, dogs are more alert than people. You can't go mountain hunting without dogs. Wang Tsuilon had no objections to this at all. When Lu Jianjun used to hunt, the family had also kept several dogs. It was only after Lu Jianjun died that they were all sold. As a hunter's wife, she had learned through constant exposure that dogs were very important to hunters. All right, take that 500. Buy a few more. If it's not enough, ask Mom for more. Mom, you're the best. Lu Qingshan happily hugged Wang Tsuilon. He hadn't expected his mother to support him so much. Silly son, your safety is the most important thing. Otherwise, what's the use of having even more money? Wang Tsuilon patted her son's head, tucked away the remaining 3,000 yuan, and left the west room. Lu Qingshan got up and went to the backyard to find a hammer. After a tremendous effort, he finally pried open the wooden box. Inside the box were 2 iron boxes. After taking the 2 metal boxes out, Lu Qingshan used pliers to open one of them and took out a packet of bullets. The bullets in the iron box were all wrapped in oiled paper. There were 30 bullets in each packet. Lu Qingshan took out 2 packets of bullets, then put the remaining bullets into the cabinet on the Kong. He took the Type 56 semi-automatic rifle out of the gun bag and then began pressing the bullets into the stripper clips. Each stripper clip held 10 rounds. After loading the bullets into the magazine, Lu Qingshan picked up the gun to test the feel of it. The moment the gun was in his hands, that indescribable feeling surfaced again. Lu Qingshan remembered what Old Li had said. Most sharpshooters don't shoot accurately by relying on aiming, but by relying on feel. Although he still hadn't tested the gun, the feeling in Lu Qingshan's heart told him that with this gun, his marksmanship would definitely be even more accurate than in his previous life. Early the next morning, after breakfast, Lu Qingshan set off with the gun on his back. Today, his main target was nearby Jinhua village. Jinhua Tun is to the northwest of Yong'an Tun, nearly half again as large as Yong'an Tun. It is the largest of the 4 villages in Hongqi town, and also the village with the most hunters among the 4 settlements at the foot of the mountains. There was a hunter in Jinhua Tun named Wang Jiatsai. He wasn't good at hunting, but he was very shrewd. He noticed that people nearby were all willing to come to the village to buy dogs, so he saw a business opportunity in it. He went around collecting puppies that were a month and a half old, spending a few yuan on each. In those days, puppies weren't worth much, and many people even gave them away for free. So every year he was able to collect quite a few puppies. He raised all the puppies he bought together, and when they were 8 or 9 months old, he started selling them, because by then most of the dogs had matured. Experienced hunters could also judge from a dog's various traits whether it was suitable for hunting. At that point, a dog could no longer be bought for just a few yuan. The cheap ones cost dozens, the expensive ones over 100, bringing in profits dozens of times the original cost. Lu Qingshan headed north along the dirt road, walking while admiring the scenery around him. Now that Wang Solan had agreed not to go up the mountain anymore, and the family also didn't have to worry about money for the time being, Lu Qingshan felt very relaxed. Everything was developing in a good direction. Though Jinhua Tun was the neighboring village of Yong'an Tun, the 2 villages were still 4 or 5 li apart. On top of that, the dirt road was not very easy to walk, so Lu Qingshan walked for nearly an hour. Wang Jiatsai's home was on the east side of Jinhua Tun. Before he even reached the house, he heard bursts of barking coming from the yard. Woof, 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 woof. Lu Qingshan listened carefully, and his expression shifted slightly. As an experienced old hunter, just from the dogs barking, he could roughly tell what the dogs inside were like and whether any of them were suitable for hunting. When Lu Qingshan entered the yard, he found quite a few people there. 7 or 8 people were standing in front of the dog cages, observing them, and in front of the cages stood a man in his 40s or 50s with a big belly and a round face. He didn't have the simple, honest air of a mountain man at all. Instead, he looked slick and crafty. He opened his mouth and said, "Folks, people for miles around all know the dogs I, Wang Jiatsai, have. They're all top-notch. If you fancy any one of them, just tell me directly, and I'll quote you a price." At this time, a thin man with a loud voice spoke up. "Enough already, Wang Laosan. Don't try to fob us off with this bunch of crooked melons and split dates. Which one of these dogs do you think can hunt? Hurry up and bring out the dogs you've been keeping in reserve, or we're leaving." Lu Qingshan glanced at the man. He knew him. He was an old gunner from Lujia Tun, and his hunting skills were quite good. In his previous life, Lu Qingshan had even exchanged pointers with him. Hearing the man's words, Wang Jiatsai was not the slightest bit angry, and still said cheerfully, "Brother Lu, what are you in such a hurry for? Aren't these just a few dogs to liven things up for everyone first? In a little while I'll bring out the few dogs I've been keeping in reserve. For now, let's see whether any of you brothers are interested in these dogs." The people gathered around were all experienced old hunters. Which one of them wasn't full of experience? They merely swept their eyes over the few dogs in the cages, and then all shook their heads, showing no interest. Lu Qingshan also casually glanced at the dog cages, not holding any hope to begin with. But when his gaze swept over one corner of the cage, his pupils contracted sharply, his eyes full of shock. How could this dog be here? In one corner of the dog cage sat a white dog upright inside. Unlike the other dogs, the white dog was not excited. Instead, it stayed steadily in the corner, its expression very calm. The old hunters around were all shrewd types, and most of them only glanced at the dog once before looking away. Because experienced hunters all know that the fiercer a hunting dog's temperament, the better. Only an ill-tempered hunting dog will bravely pounce on and tear into prey when it encounters it. A dog this emotionally steady is only suitable for guarding the house and yard. Seeing that no one was interested in the dogs in the cage, Wang Jiatsai did not give up easily. After all, if nobody wanted these dogs, he would have to sell them off cheap, which was undoubtedly like cutting into his own flesh. Wang Jiatsai's eyes shifted, and he suddenly noticed a young fellow standing behind the crowd. His eyes immediately lit up. Well-informed as he was, he spotted the brand-new Type 56 rifle on the young man's back at a glance. That gun was not cheap. That indicated two things. First, this young fellow's family had money. Otherwise, he would not have directly bought a new Type 56 rifle. Second, this young fellow had probably just started hunting, so his experience certainly was not very rich, making this the best time to fool him. Thinking of this, Wang Jiatsai said to Lu Qingshan, "Buddy, you look a bit unfamiliar. First time here, right?" As soon as Lu Qingshan saw Wang Jiatsai turn the conversation toward him, a quick turn of thought made him immediately understand Wang Jiatsai's intention. At once, an idea came to him, and he put on a somewhat shy look as he said, "Big brother, I'm from Yang'an. I just started hunting and want to buy a hunting dog." The moment Wang Jiatsai heard this, he was overjoyed. Wasn't this basically someone coming to hand him money? So he stepped forward and grabbed Lu Qingshan's hand, saying, "No problem between us, man. Your Uncle Wang here may not know much else, but I really know how to raise dogs. Listen to me, and Uncle Wang will pick out a big-headed dog for you, one that'll absolutely make sure you never come back empty-handed from the mountain again." The people standing around looked at one another, but none of them spoke up. This Wang Laosan was fooling people again, but they did not know this young man, so there was no need to offend Wang Laosan for his sake. But the middle-aged man surnamed Lu from earlier ignored Wang Jiatsai's threatening look and spoke up. "Young man, don't listen to Wang Laosan's nonsense. None of these dogs are suitable for hunting." The moment Wang Jiatsai heard this, the smile on his plump face instantly froze. He shot the speaking man a fierce glare and secretly resolved that if this man wanted to buy a dog later, he would definitely fleece him hard. Just as Wang Jiatsai was about to give up on this deal, the voice from beside him made him unable to contain his wild delight. "I think these dogs all look pretty good. That white one is so steady, it must be very good. My mom said dogs like that won't hurt people." Hearing this, the middle-aged man immediately let out a sigh and said no more. He had seen many young people like this before. People full of themselves, who felt everyone else was inferior to them. After taking a few losses, they would understand. "Well said. This dog definitely doesn't bite people, and it's very gentle too. If you buy it and take it home, your mom will definitely praise you." When Lu Qingshan heard this, the excitement on his face became even more obvious, and he could not help asking, "How much is this dog?" A trace of a smug smile appeared at the corner of Wang Jiatsai's mouth. "Done deal." He raised his right hand and made a gesture for 8 yuan. "Then I'll buy it." Lu Qingshan readily agreed and reached into his pocket to take out the money. Wang Jiatsai's expression stiffened, but he immediately put his smiling face back on. "Ha ha ha ha." The surrounding onlookers burst into laughter, and Wang Jiatsai said to Lu Qingshan with feigned anger, "Buddy, you're not here to make trouble, are you?" "I said 80. Where can you buy such a big dog for 8 yuan? 80? So expensive. Then I don't want it. I didn't bring that much money." When Lu Qingshan heard that a dog cost 80, he immediately shook his head like a rattle drum. He turned to leave. The moment Wang Jiatsai saw this, he was somewhat dumbfounded. He had originally planned to fleece the young man in front of him, but he hadn't expected the young man to simply walk away. So he quickly stopped Lu Qingshan and said, "What's with you, man? Business is business. You ask high and bargain low. At least make a counteroffer." After being stopped, Lu Qingshan put on an embarrassed look and said, "My mom only gave me 30 yuan, and I only have 2 yuan of my own." When Wang Jiatsai heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief, though he still put on a troubled expression. In the end, he slapped his thigh hard. "Fine, your uncle will take a loss today and sell it to you for 32 yuan. Who told me I like the look of you? But man, let's make this clear first. Once you buy this dog and take it home, you can't regret it. The rule here is that once a deal is made, there's no backing out." As Wang Jiatsai spoke, he watched Lu Qingshan's expression. Lu Qingshan showed not the slightest hesitation. He took 3 10-yuan notes out of one pocket, then took 2 yuan from another pocket and handed it to Wang Jiatsai. "Uncle Wang, don't worry. My mom dotes on me the most. I definitely won't go back on it." Wang Jiatsai accepted the money with a grin, then led Lu Qingshan to the cage and said, "This white one, right?" "Yes, this one," Lu Qingshan said with a determined gaze. Wang Jiatsai fastened a dog rope to the white dog. The white dog did not struggle in the slightest and was very calm. Wang Jiatsai handed the rope to Lu Qingshan, who suppressed the excitement in his heart as he took it. "Man, do you want to take a look at the dogs I've been keeping in reserve?" "No, Uncle Wang, I don't have any money on me now. I'll bring more money next time and come again." Lu Qingshan looked embarrassed, while tightly gripping the white dog's rope in his hand. "All right then, Uncle Wang won't see you off." After Lu Qingshan had gone far away, the surrounding crowd immediately started shouting, "Wang Laosan, you're really no good. You're even tricking such a small child." Wang Jiatsai paid no mind at all to the crowd's mockery. In his heart, money was the most important thing. Everything else was secondary. What nonsense are you talking? I think that dog is quite good. Maybe it'll even become a top-notch big-head dog in the future. But when he said this, Wang Jiatsai's face was full of smugness, clearly showing that he himself didn't believe it. Meanwhile, Lu Qingshan suppressed his excitement and hurried along the road until he saw that he was already far from the village. Only then did he finally feel at ease. He gave the rope a tug to stop the white dog, then squatted down in front of it and carefully observed this legendary hunting dog. This white dog was very beautiful, with a coat of pure white fur without the slightest mixed color. Its eyes were not the usual brown or black, but blood red. Together with its cool and aloof temperament, it gave off a unique sense of prideful solitude. If it had been a few decades later, even if it couldn't hunt, it would still have captivated a great many dog lovers. But unfortunately, for people at this time, having enough to eat was more important, so no one wanted a dog that clearly didn't look suitable for hunting. Inlong, Lu Qingshan softly called out as he looked into the white dog's eyes. The white dog calmly glanced at Lu Qingshan, then slightly lifted its head. Lu Qingshan was instantly overjoyed. He had never expected this legendary dog to fall into his hands by such a twist of fate. In his previous life, about 2 years later, a once-in-a-century hunting dog appeared in Hongqi town. Unlike other hunting dogs, this one did not look at all like a hunting dog from the outside. Its body was slender, but not sturdy. Its personality was cold and aloof. Because it was a female dog, it weighed only a little over 70 jin, yet despite being a dog that seemed unsuitable in every way for hunting, it actually became a hunting dog famous throughout the entire hunting circle. It was said that someone specifically offered 5,000 yuan to buy this dog, but the owner refused. In his words, this dog could earn 5,000 yuan by taking down 3 black bears, and with this dog's ability, hunting 3 black bears would take less than a month. You should know that in those days, even the best lead dog would only sell for 500 yuan. No one had ever heard of a dog being sold for 5,000 yuan. Once this happened, the dog became even more famous, and later someone even secretly poisoned it. Although it didn't kill the dog, it still dealt it a heavy blow, and its bodily functions declined severely. Before long, it died. But now that in this life the dog has fallen into Lu Qingshan's hands, he would never let anyone hurt it. After struggling in the business world for so many years in his previous life, what underhanded tricks had he not seen? If anyone dared scheme against him, he would make that person wish they were dead and leave them with a broken family. Inlong, I will definitely protect you well, Lu Qingshan solemnly promised the white dog. The white dog looked at Lu Qingshan, and as if sensing his concern, the coldness in its blood-red eyes gradually melted away. Finally, it lowered its head and gently licked the back of Lu Qingshan's hand. Come on, let's go home. Lu Qingshan, full of high spirits, led the dog and walked toward home. As they walked along the road, Lu Qingshan happened to notice what was different about the dog before him. For example, when walking, most dogs keep their heads down and sniff around as they go, while Inlong held its head slightly high, like a lion patrolling its territory. In the gentle breeze, the white fur on its neck fluttered in the wind. It really did have a bit of a lion's air. Mom, I'm back. Lu Qingshan pushed open the courtyard gate and shouted loudly. Ever since being reborn, he had grown more and more fond of this warm scene of having someone waiting for him at home. Hearing Lu Qingshan's shout from the courtyard, Wang Salon, who was in the kitchen preparing lunch, lifted the door curtain and wiped her hands on her apron. Son, you're back. Is this the dog you bought? It's so beautiful. Wang Zuelan spotted the white dog standing in front of Lu Qingshan at a glance. Women have no resistance to beautiful furry animals, and Wang Zuelan was no exception. Seeing Wang Zuelan approach, Inlong did not wag its tail like other dogs, nor did it bare its teeth like some dogs do. It merely fixed Wang Zuelan with its blood-red pupils. Wang Zuelan halted, feeling a little unnerved. Inlong, we're family, behave yourself. Hearing this, Inlong showed no reaction. Only the coldness in its eyes softened somewhat. Wang Zuelan said in amazement, Son, this dog really seems to understand people. Yeah, Mom, this dog's name is Inlong. Its personality is a bit aloof. It'll be fine once it gets familiar with us. One look and you can tell it's a good dog. Although Inlong's attitude was cold, Wang Zuelan was not angry. Sure enough, being good-looking is also an advantage. People are always more tolerant. Mom, now that we have a dog at home, we can raise some chickens, ducks, and geese. That way, later we can eat both eggs and meat. Wang Zuelan's eyes lit up at once. This morning she had tidied up the house again and was just thinking that she'd be bored with nothing to do in the future. Raising some chickens, ducks, and geese would be just the thing to pass the time.